Master Grade Aegis Gundam. Inside the box we go for the unbox itself, and when you take a look at that, yes, some very nice oversized yellow effect parts on there. Seals, 3 types it looks like there, with a multicolor, 4 colors on the A plate including clear, a very bright and vibrant pink compared to some of the earlier versions of this. I'm talking about other grades specifically. Gray there, and you're also going to have some nice parts. These are not gray. It's going to be sort of a very dark navy blue. That's going to look good on the side binders, on the waist sections. Lots of pink big parts there for the shoulders. You can see some sliding parts and details in there to go along with a plate of polycaps, but you can definitely tell this is a master grade, primarily pink and gray all over the place to go with the color guide there. That should be showing off the front of this manual, again, with that sort of so-so cover art. Here is the A plate in all of its multicolored glory, because really this kit does not have all that much color to it. This is the only white that you're going to get. You're going to get a few more plates of this dark navy blue, and that's it for yellow parts. And the rest you're going to have to paint up because they're clear or use the attached seals. Taking a look at the yellow, you can see the waist part there, and you're going to have this cool part there for the V-fins. You're actually going to have 2 of those because they're going to swing back, as we've seen on old things like the Double Zeta Gundam. And in terms of the actual white parts, you've got a seated Athrun and his hand out there looking all good. The face here is supposed to have a line down the middle, and it does, but it's a very understated line, so you're going to have to go, you could either make that bigger or just ignore it altogether if you're not a fan of the split face masks, which some transforming Gundams tend to have. This one definitely, again, would be up to you. Lighting possibilities down there on these small white details. You can see that it's got a few parts broken off and some very thin attachment parts. As Bandai's engineering gets better and better, big white parts there that you're going to see attached onto the stabilizer on the back, and the clear parts there are going to be used for the eyes. They've got the eyes actually raised up if you want to paint them up properly, and all of the scopes and many of his camera lenses. I mean, he's got many of them, and they're all going to be provided in the nice clear parts there. We've got some very sharp looking toe and wrist attachments there. They are separate or different numbers, even though on first glance they do look about the same. And you can see some nice intricate little mechanical details there on this attachment point for the strange looking transformation on the back. You may have seen that honking huge white piece on the A plate, and you've got this big part here in pink. You can see though that it's going to be split at the bottom, and it's going to show some cool details down there. The stabilizer very Zeta Gundam-ish there. You've got the protectors for the hands, and then it's on to the very bright pink of the rest of this kit. You can see some nice details there molded into 3D. You've got the Vulcans on the side of the head are actually going to be seen through, as you're going to have some gray inner frame. The sliding parts for that funky looking horn, and some otherwise just nice details to go all the way around, including there as you've got that jewel that's going to be provided. Here you've got slots there that are going to have the clear part that goes underneath. But I wanted to show this off compared to the color. This is the 1/100th, the old school high grade Versago. And would we even have an Athrun Zala without a Shagia Frost? Well, I think the answer is yes. I can't really see a relation between the two outside of the vague color, but you can just see, hopefully in the light here, just how different this red is from the very, very bright bubblegum pink that you're going to be getting for this kit. 2 identiplates of C here is going to give you even more pink for the rest of the body, and you can just see all of these small armor parts there. In the old days, you used to just take a side of the leg and slap it on either side, and then they added an inner frame for the master grades. But with this one, it's just incredible how many separate parts you're going to be getting and putting on, and it's always great when they're going to show off things like this so that it's going to show off the color of the inner frame underneath. The D plate is X frame, it says here, and you can pretty much forget about it because you're going to ignore almost everything on the top and bottom, including that neck and the attachment point. If I recall correctly, the X is from the manual. It's pretty much only the hands here. However, 3-finger trigger finger split is not in this deck of cards. 2 identical E plates here, and you can see the back. We're going to attach these side binders together. You can see that you're just going to put these in, and then you're going to have some nice little details there on the front. You can go ahead and line that in black, and it looks like you're going to have a few details in terms of the pink to add on around this, and remember that they are actually going to move when you put them together. I still remember the high grade, just how bulky they were and how inflexible, and it just sort of seemed like they were just slapped on there just to provide a little bit more plastic and perhaps up the part count. Well, I suppose, and actually cover up the whole back of the Gundam, considering that it's just the back of a funky looking chest and a stabilizer. F plate now, this is inner frame for the Aegis, so a lot of commonalities here for the frames. Some small detailed parts and some cool looking thruster-like things. You can see lots of opportunities if you wanted to go and paint this up metallic style. But it's interesting to see the rifle down there, as you're going to have it all just in these two parts there. As you've got all the barrels, it's going to take all of about 3 seconds to cut these out and put it together, it looks like. More custom Aegis inner frame here, ABS G-plate, and you can see that you're going to be able to move the hips up and down, and there's the attachment points to put them all in there together. You can see some other cool details and just a whole bunch of intricate moving parts, which is befitting of a 300 series and more importantly any transforming Gundam. Wonder if that's going to be an attachment point. Looks like you've got some cool parts there. I would guess that's for the neck, I'm just speculating. And you can see some other details there, and again, if you want to paint them up, you can. And there's part of that funky looking chest, which is far too skinny. And this all-important laser there from the very familiar Kira. Yes, I have to hug you. But of more interest are these two H plates. You're going to get these, and these are part of my favorites. Just the fact that they're going to use these parts here. I was very impressed with the way they did it with the Blitz. And the way you like to see it with things like the astray frames, or you're going to have the inner frame showing through to the outside. And they do a great job of that. You're going to be covering that up with pink parts on the middle, but it looks like tons of great little details there. And if you wanted to show off the inner frame, I'm sure it would look quite impressive, and this gray is going to look very nice offset, something that the SD is sorely lacking. Lots of other small intricate parts there that are going to be very useful for the transformation. Before skipping ahead to the end, as we've got two J plates here that are identical, and these are going to be on the side binders there. You already saw the nice navy blue parts there. These are going to slide up and down as you attach them together. You can see the way they're just going to be twinned up back there. Sort of cool that you can slide them out and perhaps rotate them off to the side. And again, some nice details if you want to go in there with a brown lining marker or a red real touch, or whichever color you prefer. But if the rest of the kit did not have a lot of color, well, how about these two nice eye plates, which are custom to the Aegis, and you're going to take these and attach them onto the single Wolverine claw on the back of the forearms, and you've got these for the tippy toes. When you slide them in, it's sort of interesting here if you can make it out. They've got these parts, so they're going to be offset. You're going to see some yellow parts, 3 on each side when you put them on, with the white on the inside. However, still the fact that they put these in sort of makes up for the fact that he's got a pretty dull rifle and not a big backpack, which you've definitely gotten used to with most seed kits. These are going to be a nice touch when you want to put him on display, whether he's MS or MA mode, I suppose. To the seals now, where you're going to have the regular eyes, and then you have to wonder, when they're injecting clear parts or clear plastic into the A, why didn't they just do it in blue, considering that everything is going to be blue there? And of course, that's nice and easy to paint up, and customizers are going to appreciate the fact they can do it up in their own colors. However, if you did paint it up, it still wouldn't be as bright as these stickers are, although it would have a more natural plastic feel, but I'll probably just be lazy and use these. Gundam decals now, custom of course for the Aegis, as you've got Zaft stuff all over the place, those cool little white tick marks or whatever you want to call them that are going to go on Omni, the Versus System, and Archangel for once he becomes a traitor. Well, that was much to the fans' delight, I'm sure. And the marking seals are a lot of fun because this could be a monotonous pink kit, I'm supposing, as you saw just how much pink, how dominant it is for the color scheme there. And if you wanted to break that up with some 303s in white, I think this design is actually really cool and sort of goes back to the designer's colors series from 00. I think that's going to look fantastic. Aegis written in various colors there, and I'm a real fan of this whole color scheme. Probably too lazy to put these on, and by probably I mean definitely, but it's still the kind of thing that if you want to put them on, I think you could really make this guy stand out even more than his already unique body type is going to make him. So definitely a fun unbox, outside of the lack of colors that you're going to get there. That's to be expected though, that's part of the MS design, and these things were designed to sell in even old school non-grade 1 1/44. The inclusion of the yellow parts there for the extra effect parts, definitely a master grade-esque bonus. The clear parts are going to be great for the people that want to paint them up, and just tons of details as you look at the things like these white parts here on the back of the shield, and just the way that this is going to intricately attach onto the larger parts that are going to go onto it and be there in all sorts of colors. The navy blue looks great. It's definitely not a washed out pink, and very different from the 15 different colors that we've had. That's a topic of another video of Char, whether it's HDUC or in master grade form. Lots of things to be excited about, including the seals, especially if you wanted to go through and use them. But I think, of course, the most interesting thing with the Transforming Gundam is how is this going to work, and does the transformation, is that going to hinder the MS in terms of posability and or stability? Anyway, stay tuned to find out, and as always, everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. See you next time. Bye. You know, back in the 90s, I don't think anybody was really pining for me to become Garrett's best friend at the end of Gundam X. Besides, we had our own Char-esque clone,